Hey guys, this is Dave with Founder Dojo. Hey, I want to talk today about a new concept, this thing that I call iteration loops. And so I want to describe in this video what an iteration loop is and how we're going to use it in the validation process. So hopefully by now you've seen the validation wheel before. This is a iterative process and a graphic that describes the different steps that we go through from problem validation to solution validation to path to customers validation and all the sub steps within that. So this should be familiar to you. So for each of these sections, each of these pie pieces, I have created an iteration loop template that goes with it, which takes you step by step through the process so you know exactly what to do. So let's just jump through this. We're moving on to the scan, the scan problem validation step, which is where all great ideas start. And when you click on that, you can go down and see the iteration loop. So the iteration loop is, as it's described, something that you can do iteratively. It's a series of activities. Sometimes it includes a worksheet. Sometimes includes an exercise, developing documents or going through an exercise with your team or by yourself to try to sort out the proper experiment to run for that particular phase. So in this example, this is an iteration loop for the problem validation scan experiment, and this is where you guys are right now in the process. So scan meaning we're not sure exactly what customer and problem to focus on, so we're just going to scan the landscape and see what different combinations of customers and problems exist, or at least the ones that we come across. So you start at the top, you develop a problem hypothesis, and the best way to do that, we think, is to create a problem template, which really defines what problem are you solving and who you're solving it for. So in a future version of this document, you'll be able to just click on this video. Now, the how to do this part is broken in a couple different videos, so this final graphic might change. And then if there's a document or a worksheet to download, you can click on this too. And you go through each of these steps and you basically click them off. And by the way, this is the basis of a software application that we're going to build to make this a little bit easier to follow. But anyway, you create your problem template. And then you conduct your problem interviews, right? And there's multiple videos on this course to show you how to do that. And then once that's done, you go through an exercise, and I just recorded a video on how to do this, to identify the unique customer problem combinations that you've seen so far out there in the wild. And then you go through a process to sort through those and then choose which customer problem you want to focus on. So let's say you did 5 interviews, and there's only one customer problem segment in those 5 that you decided to focus on. So that's really not enough data to fully understand that particular customer segment and how they view the problems in this area. And that's a normal thing, right? Because we're trying to focus in, we may have done 5 interviews and now we're focusing on one. But you basically get to that point where it's like, okay, let's make a decision. Can we choose this customer problem to focus on, or do we need more discovery? So I would say if you have one customer interview with this particular customer segment, it's not enough. One is not anywhere near enough. So in this case, I would say, hey, this looks promising, like we've picked one, but we don't want to pivot. I mean, we're kind of picking a segment. We don't want to kill this because we think we're onto something here. We just need more data. So we want to proceed. And then the way to proceed is to move on to a focus experiment, which involves identifying other customers in that segment and just getting more reps in, getting more interviews underneath your belt so that you can continue to refine your problem validation template, continue to understand those customers, and continue to understand how they view the problems in this space. And then in the middle, of course, why is this resonating or not resonating? So anyway, I just wanted to introduce this problem, this concept of an iteration loop, because you're going to see this throughout the course. And as we build these more They are going to be linked to the validation wheel. So you just click on a validation wheel pie piece, and then you can click down and see the specific steps for that section of the validation process. Okay, hopefully this was helpful, and thanks for listening. Talk to you guys next time.